Hi everyone, I know that I have a lot of beginners following me, so I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that I have in my toolbox, because a lot of people are always, when you start, you just don't have all the supplies you need. So if you have an idea of what you need, I thought maybe that would help you. So I just wanted to go through my toolbox and show you. My toolbox is a Huggies recyclable, the Huggies baby wipes. I took it and recycled it, so I have all of my stuff inside of here. And I also use some other ones to hold other stuff. I haven't had time to decorate it, but I do want to decorate it, which is something we'll get into later. But I want to share with you, I want to pull out everything that I have inside the box that I use, the stuff that I mostly use. Okay, so I want to start with my jewelry pliers because I make a lot of earrings, so I'm going to start with my jewelry pliers. And these type of jewelry pliers that you see here, these are called end cutters. They cut the tips of the wires that you don't want, that you want to throw away. So you cut it away with this. These are called end cutters. And then we have our round nose plier, which is completely round points. This is completely round. This is what makes the loops that go around your hook, like these type of hooks, right? These type of loops right here. I don't know if you can see it right here. These type of loops that you see at the end of your hook, it makes those type of hooks on the wires. And those are the needle nose, the round needle nose pliers. The next one is the flat nose pliers, which are these right here. And these, I use them to open and close my jump rings or anything like a wire that I need to open or close. And then these are my my chain nose pliers. These are kind of similar to the flat ones I just showed you, but it's a little narrower. These are the ones, these two together I use to open and close my jump rings. Okay, I have at least 2 pairs of these tiny scissors in my box. I know I only need one, but I have 2. And for jewelry, I have a supply of these flathead pins. That's to hold beads. And here's a fancy flathead with a little decorative tip on it. And this is an eye pin right here. This is an eye pin, and an eye pin does this. You see this right here? It sort of puts a bead between 2 openings, 2 loops on each end, and that's used if you want a bead between your hook and your earring. That's when you use an eye pin. And I wanted to show you my beads. I have loads and loads of beads. So this, you're not going to acquire it all at one time. You're going to acquire them over time. So I have been making this for a while now, so that's why I have all sorts of beads. And sometimes if I just find them and they're on sale or whatever, or if I just like them, I just buy them. So they kind of accumulate. And let's see what else. What do I have here? I had made some eyeglass chains for my niece one time. So I have these little things that I bought with the eyeglass chains, some extra chain. And it came with these little things in there, and she was the only one that requested them, so that's why I have quite a few of them. So I have loads and loads of thread and yarn, plenty of it. I have too much. So I have my ear wires that I keep in this little container. This has one dangling off of there. I have two kind. I have the ball and wire type of hook, and then I have the French style hook, which is just has a little loop at the end. I have both of those. Okay, and in my box I also have this thing to store needles. See the needles in there? It has needles in there, see them? All different sizes come inside here. I've had this for quite a while, so that's why you see a whole bunch of missing needles, because you just lose them. So in this little box I also have some of those needles too. This is my little Altoids box. It's a little metal box that brings some breath mint in them. And I saved it for my needles, and I keep a little bobbin of thread because sometimes I need to sew stuff, like my labels. I need to sew my labels, and I have a variety of different size needles in here. I have this to a blunt needle. It has no tip, and it's used to thread and tie in your ends for yarn. And I have some that fit the thread size, and I have some that fit the yarn size. So I have a variety of different blunt needle sizes. You know, sometimes you just don't need a big needle. And I have my labels. These are my labels. This is my official label, and I'll show you what it says. It says rock this, and it's usually used folded in half like this. And the back of the label says handmade by Crochet Hooks. These are my labels. And I keep buttons in there because I never know when I'm going to need a button. I don't always need these particular buttons that I have in my box. Sometimes I have to go inside my big button supply and look for a certain type of button. But I try to keep some in my box. And I also have some wooden beads in here that I was making a bracelet with, and they ended up in this little bag. And I have some metal buttons. That's a metal button right there. And I have 4-hole buttons in here, and I have 2-hole buttons in here. So there's a variety of buttons. And I have my jump rings in here. I think you all know what the jump rings look like. It's just a little round hoop that goes at the end of your jewelry making, at the end of your hook, if you want to add a jump ring to hold it onto. And I have here for my customers, I give them the little rubber tips that go at the end of your earrings. I keep those in my box too, so I won't forget to add it to the earring. This little tiny thing here, it's called a needle threader. Sometimes I can't thread, my fingers can't thread the yarn onto the blunt needle. So I use this little thing here. I've never seen this thing again. I tried to find it at the craft store, so I take good care of it because I don't know when I'm going to be able to find another one. I don't know why, but I don't. This is the only one I've ever found, and I bought it years ago. And I'm trying to show you how this is going to be used. Let me get my blunt needle. And I'm going to show you how that little thing is used. Oh, here's one. This is your needle, and this is your hook, and you're going to put this through the eye of the needle, like this. And then you're going to wrap your yarn around this hook right here, and you're going to pull it through, and that's going to thread it for you. That's how you use that. And I keep a seam ripper in my box because I also sew on my sewing machine. And this I use with, I don't know, because it has a pointy end to it. See the point? And it has a little ball. I sometimes find use for it, so I just keep it in my toolbox. And this is a tape measure. I keep a tape measure in here too. And this thing here is flex wire, that little spool there. Let me take it out so I can show you. I know you've probably seen me use it in some of my videos before. So in this little plastic bag, I keep this flex wire. It also helps me thread my beads onto my crochet thread. You could find it at your craft store. And I don't know what this thing is doing here, but I tell you, this thing, I had it years ago when I purchased the Avon body wax to wax your eyebrows. And I don't really use it, but it's not in my way, so it stays, you know, it just. And I also have an extra large blunt needle. This is a giant blunt needle. It's the biggest one I have. It doesn't fit in my tin can with the rest of them, so it sits in this little bag with the rest of my wire, my flex wire. And I keep it in this little bag because it just unravels all over the place. So I'm just gonna, you know, keep it together in there somehow. Okay, and I have crochet hooks, all sizes. I acquired these hooks through the years. You can buy your basic ones that you need. I suggest getting, if you're crocheting with thread, you can get as low as the size C all the way to J. Those are your basic sizes. Now if you're going to use the number 10 thread, then you can get into the smaller size hooks, which would be the ones that come in these sizes. This would be a 2mm. This is a 2mm hook. This one I'm holding here is my G hook. And the reason why I have it wrapped around like this is because I was once doing a big project that required me to use this needle over and over and over and over again, and it was just making my hand hurt. So I crocheted this little jacket to put over it. The needle originally came with polymer clay at the handle, but that wasn't helping, so I crocheted this little coat jacket. It made it a little softer for my hand, and it's a little more tender. Get that little thing off. So this is my G hook, but I have hooks. I also have P hooks. These are P hooks. These I use when I crochet my with my bulky heavy threads. They're called P hooks, but the size of it's an N hook. It's N, but they call them P hooks. I don't know why, but these are P hooks. And as far as the smallest one I have is a 1.5mm. And then I have my G, H, I, J, K, L. I have an L hook somewhere. It's over there. It's too far away. But the one I use the most is my C hook and my D hook for my threads. For yarn, I use my I hook and my H hook. I also have a supply of wooden needles. If you have sensitive hands, these hooks are great to use. They're much more gentle to your hands than the metal ones. After a while, I just couldn't use metal hooks anymore without having it, you know, wrapped around like this. Or the soft touch hooks, which you can find at Michael's. These hooks are great. They're very comfortable in my hand. I can crochet longer than I can if I didn't have this type of hook. This is a regular metal hook that you're probably using, or that most people use, especially when they start crocheting. So I bought these little styrofoam covers. It's just a soft little foam that you slip onto it. And when I first bought it, it was kind of difficult to get the needle in. So what I did was I put Vaseline on the hook, and then I was able to slide it onto the needle much easier. But they come in different sizes, so make sure that you get the right size. You know, don't force the needle in if it's just not the right size, because you will rip it with the hook if it's not the right size. So once you get the right size and you slide it on, it's not easy to get it off. So make sure you get a nice supply if you have more than one hook, because you won't be able to remove it to use it on your other hook. So make sure you get like maybe 2 or 3 if you're using various sizes of hooks. In my box, I also keep my chapstick, because if I need to moisturize my lips, I don't really care to get up and stop crocheting just to go find my lip gloss or my chapstick. So I keep one inside my box, and I keep one on my keychain, and I keep one on my bedroom night table. So I always have moist lips, and I can crochet more comfortable with moist lips. I just can't do it without it. I also keep a writing pen in case I need to write down some information about my stitches or counting or whatever. Writing down a note or something, I keep a pen in my basket. And last but not least, I have 2 more items in here to share. I keep a supply of safety pins. These are your basic safety pins. I have a variety of sizes. It helps, like when you're crocheting appliques, you can use the safety pins to pin down the applique and it holds it in place for you until you can get around with your blunt needle and your yarn to sew it on properly. So this is a great help to have inside your box. And I also have the measuring tape that curls up. I have the one that I showed you earlier inside the little case, but I also have this one. Sometimes you just need this one. And I think that covers the basics. So I hope that this video was quite helpful for you. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else I can show you, and I don't really see anything else. But I have a slew of other supplies that I also use for my crafting. I have a glue gun. I have other types of glues. I have spray-on rubber that I use on the booties that I make, which I'll probably show you in another video. And I also have the embroidery threads that I also use to crochet with. So there's a whole bunch of varieties in supplies that you can get, but don't be in such a hurry. You know, if you continue crafting, you're going to be able to accumulate all these tools over time, you know, at your own pace. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and thank you for watching. Bye.